These adventurers are driven by the lust to reach somewhere no one has reached before, and to do something no one has done before. This is the symphony of the earth, a rhythm of uplift and erosion that makes not waves of water, but waves of stone. To certain people, the call to adventure is irresistible. As everyday life has become safer and more comfortable for some. For you never feel so alive, knowing that at any minute you could die. There is no glory for those who are left behind.
Hey, Citrus. It's going pretty good. Hola. It's going alright. Trying to figure out some stuff. But yeah, it's going okay. Working on UI mostly. Of course, always. started to program Python class right now. I've heard that if you learn Python, most of the language becomes a lot easier to learn. I guess because of the difficulty of Python. I mean, yeah, I guess. The upside of Python is that the syntax is really easy, but the concepts that you learn kind of stay the same. So yeah, sure. It's just mostly because you don't have to focus on some like specific things. Like, I don't know, just because it's dynamically typed, for example, you don't have to think about what get casts to where, like, yeah. So you can focus more on like logical stuff, how you translate kind of, you know, your ideas into algorithms, and not on how specific types work and get casted to each other, and like how to work with memory. Like, yeah, Python is usually a good place to start. A lot of people start with Python, but I never did. I started with C++ actually, which was actually very hard, like back in the day, as I remember. I wouldn't say they're all kind of the same. Like, for example, there are functional languages that just super weird. Like, back when I was studying at university, we were learning Haskell, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? Because, yeah, like most of them kind of are. Like, most of them are like Python, in the sense where I think that it's called like imperative languages, where you just basically specify like I want to do this, and then I want to do this. Like here, like each line just like does some one thing. But like in functional languages, you basically you declare a chain of operations. Like, first I do this, then whatever this has done gets passed into this function, and then this, and so you basically you kind of create a chain of things, and it can be really hard to wrap your head around, but they have their own like specific case. So yeah, most of them kind of are, so that's why it's good to start with Python, but then you can move to some like maybe object-oriented languages like C# or like Java, or like even Rust is a lot like that, even though it's not object-oriented. But like, it's basically about teaching your brain to think in a code way, you know? Just kind of learn to write algorithms. So that's why, yeah, Python is pretty good for that. But yeah, you know, there are like some meme languages too, like there's one called brainfuck. If you know that's kind of a meme, but there are basically a bunch of like esoteric languages, as they're called, and brainfuck is basically, it looks like this. I think those are comments, but basically it's just like, I think there's like 3 or 4 symbols. This is like hello world on brainfuck. So it's basically, yeah. So it just looks like this. So, you know, not all languages are the same. But most the ones that people use are mostly like Python in most ways that you would care about. Morse code, yeah. But Morse code only has like 2 or like 3. There's a short one and a long one, yeah. But basically all the languages get translated into bits, bytes, zeros and ones, which are kind of like Morse code, I guess. Not data centers, more like data science stuff. I guess that's what you wanted to say. But like, yeah, it used a lot in actually machine learning stuff, like data analysis, just because it's really simple to write and you do a lot of like queries. But like, if you want to write some, like, it has a big problem with performance. So you wouldn't write like some low-level stuff. You wouldn't like write games with it. Or I mean, I guess you would, but it would get translated into some other language. Like, yeah, I never really used Python, to be honest. It depends. Like, what do you want to do? But if you want to just to learn to code, Python is definitely a good way to start. Like, if you want to become a software developer, just learn to code in general. You will basically just have to eventually learn a bunch of languages, and that's just how it is. Just keep that in mind. Like, it's not really important what languages you choose at the moment, because you will get your hands on a bunch of them eventually. And it will all just expand your understanding of how to write code. Yeah, I don't have to remember, like, I don't know, like, it's not really about remembering, because you don't have to remember like specific syntax stuff. You can always Google whatever. I'm not sure about what you mean using Python for ChatGPT. Like, if you want to create a large language model, you would probably, yeah, like Python used a lot for like training models and stuff, as kind of a wrapper, like, to interact with the models, but they're usually not written in Python like at a low level, just because you need performance there. But yeah, you don't have to remember, you just have to like have a general feeling of the language, and then whenever you need like specifically, you just fucking Google it. Like, people really don't realize, but being a software developer is just mostly Googling stuff, especially in like enterprise environment. I don't do that as much, just because I use some technologies that I just gotten used to. So for example, I use a lot of eGUI, and I just, after working with it for like a year and a half, I just remember all the things I need. But when I want to use something I haven't used a lot, I just go to docs and I just read the documentation. So it's really not about remembering for the most part. Can you make bots with ChatGPT? I mean, yeah, sure. That's what people do basically. But you would just query it, like use its API, just like send data against something in response, and that really doesn't depend on the language. I'm trying to learn GDScript as my first language. Yeah, I think GDScript is like, what does it look like? I think it's like a lot like Python, as I remember. Hello? Yeah, it's really a lot like Python. I think that's what they were like inspired to. Yeah, I think their goal with it was just like to make something simple and approachable for people. Yeah, dude, nice. What do you want to make? Like it's your first attempt at making a game? I think Godot is pretty cool. I actually wanted to switch to it from Unity. I don't know, there's been like some weird stuff like lately with their like management. Like I don't know how to even say this. But like overall I hear good things about it. I think there's like surprisingly not enough like serious games written with it, but I feel like the engine is pretty capable. I think it's very good as the like your first engine to try out. Like usually I would say that about Unity, but like not anymore. Unity, I kind of became a Unity hater, I guess. But Godot is like pretty good. Definitely good to start with, for sure. But yeah, I wouldn't like stick to it forever, I feel like. It really depends on what you wanna do. Yeah, one advice I would give is to not start with your dream game. But yeah, I watched a video yesterday, which I thought was like really cool. Let me actually link it to you. I gotta turn my VPN. But yeah, the video was basically about the fact that if you want to make games, like the dude was like teaching game design courses, and he was talking about I forgot the word I want to say. Like basically certain people get like obsessed with like specific concepts, and yeah, hyperfixation is what he called it. So like people usually just get fixated on certain ideas, or like copy link. Dude, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah. So it's this one. Yeah, so you basically like you feel drawn to like certain concepts in a game, and people think that they have to think through the whole idea, like understand it in their head or something, like have a very concrete plan. But it's not really like that. You just start to like, you know, fiddling around with some things. Like for example, the guy in the video, he really liked grids, you know. He says that he was first introduced to the concept of a grid from like Minecraft crafting grid, where you have like basically 3x3 grid that you can place anything into, and he was like so fascinated, and he made like, I don't know, like a lot of projects, as I remember, like about 10, experimented just like with the grid concept before he arrived to a game that was actually fun and addictive. So that's kind of what you do. Like I was also I was doing something like that when I quit my job, and how do I need to find my account. I think like this. Yeah. Yeah, so basically I also like grids and most of the things I do are 2D. And so back in 2020 when I quit my job, I first like had a break, and then I was okay, I wanna try to create something, and I just liked grids, and I came up with this idea where, why does it not load? Yeah, basically just wanted to create a grid that the squares, they just they just move in kind of a funny way, but whatever. So basically I just did things, and I just thought of features. I didn't have any idea initially, and so I eventually created kind of a, I don't know, I guess like a music editor. This is sort of a DAW, but like you basically like put a sample on each square, and then by like chain they just like, you can basically make music with it, and the signal just like travels around it, and like I don't know, dude, I didn't have any goal, and then I created this. So it's kind of a experimental thing, and I didn't plan to like release it or anything, but it's kind of came out pretty like fun to like fiddle around with. So you can create like a bunch of different things with different sounds, and you can like chain them together, and the signal kind of like travels around. This was the time when I started to really get into like music production with like analog synthesizers, and yeah. I think that's what you should do when you just start like making something. You just kind of, you know, experiment with stuff and see what you're drawn into. But if you're gonna try to create your dream game like right away, you can just get really frustrated, just because you first are really result oriented. So yeah. Just like experiment. Don't have a plan. Just try stuff. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if you like making music, then you should definitely incorporate that into the games you make. I feel like the best way to start is just learn some basics of the engine. Just like try a couple of small projects just for fun. Don't plan to like release them or anything. And then just participate in a bunch of game jams. If you do this for like a year, you will be like really proficient, and you will actually be ahead of like a lot of people who do game development, but like trying to focus on one project or whatever. Like the amount of experience you can have from trying to make 5 projects instead of just focusing on one is just, there's a huge difference. Oh yeah. That's kind of what I'm telling it into everyone. But yeah, I feel like you should be, especially if you want to make something innovative, which I feel like everyone should do. Like trying to just that's basically what the guy in the video says too. Like people usually start making a game by like choosing a genre and then just like kind of following the rules, even if they don't feel like they want to do things this way, but just because they're usually done this way, they just do it this way. But yeah, I feel like best games are made from like innovation and exploration, which means that you start doing one thing, then you realize that you have to pivot, and the best way to do that is to just start over, especially if you're doing things alone. Like I'm remaking this game for like 5th time, just because I've explored the idea, I learned the stuff I work with. But basically each try just makes me realize more and more things. There's also like a cool analogy that like a guy called Jonas Tyroller, he has a YouTube channel about game design. But yeah, he had a very great way to put it. Like making a game, especially innovative game, is kind of like you're on a boat and you're trying to find the deepest place in some lake. And all you can do is to just go to a certain point and you can kind of measure the depths there. And you're basically trying to do kind of these measurements and find the global maximum of depth. And you can be sure that like there can be like local maximums, right? But it can be like there is like this kind of a trench or whatever. But if you go further, even though it becomes less deep, then it can become like way more deep. So you basically have to navigate this, and to measure some distant place might mean that the game would be like super different, to have really an architecture that differs a lot. And yeah, the best way to accompany that is to just start over, because trying to move existing code to that new like idea, new place, can be way harder, just like mentally, you know. And you might be tempted to like not change as much, which would just might make it less fun to work on the game, to be honest. Yeah, you'll get there. You just gotta do something, that's it. Really. I haven't played VR chat, but I mean, I know about it, like oh yeah, I actually I have played, but just a little bit, back when I had VR. It's just kind of not my thing. Or I don't know. It was actually kind of hard to figure out. Like I walked around some stuff, but I was like, okay, what do I do? I'm not so much about like social interactions within the games. Even when I play like MMORPGs, I'm kind of just doing everything on my own. But back in the day, I actually liked to be part of communities and stuff. Hmm. I mean, yeah, just do the same, but not inside VR chat, I guess. But yeah, it seems like you already found kind of what you're inclined to. Is that a bad thing to have? I mean, you know what you're interested in, what you're interested in. It's just a matter of doing something with it. Just, you know, grab an engine and try to do it as a separate game. There's like huge amount of ways you can use that, you know. Just experiment. And since you already have some experience, you already created something that people like, just expand on it and that's it. It's not like you're gonna create like same things. It's probably will be similar, but like you'll explore more and more. Oh, dude, there's like a lot of games like that. People love that shit. Not me specifically. I really like the most about gameplay. But that's an art form in itself. And you can create generative art too. Like what you're describing is a lot like generative art, and I love it. There is like, for example, shader toy. If you maybe heard about it, but it's basically you write shaders, and they can also be tied to music, which allows you to visualize any kind of like sound. Let's see if we can find anyone that does that. Maybe this one. Track can't be streamed. No. Maybe this. This one just doesn't play. Okay, we have to find something. How about this? What the fuck? They don't work. Usually they don't do that. Come on, give me something. Okay, I don't know. But yeah, basically you just write shaders, then... Dude, why? Also I need to disable my VPN. Maybe it's because of that. Probably not. Yeah, so basically I feel like that's a lot like what you wanna do. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, dude, that's like, it takes a lot of time to learn. Don't get discouraged. But it really depends on what your goal is, what you wanna do. But yeah, it takes some time to understand and wrap your head around them. But the things you can do there are just insane. Shit. Oh. Okay. Should see the team unit now. Yes. Alright. Great. I mean, you're not forced to work for anyone. You're never forced to do anything. But if you want to find a job, then like, yeah. Especially if it's your first one. Like, getting into games is like hard just by itself. So I don't know, like, that's how it is usually with like any kind of software development jobs. Usually you have to work on stuff that you wouldn't work on just from your own, like, from your own will. But that's just how it is. You just get experience and you earn money. But like, if we're talking about like real-time stuff, there is like a lot to do that doesn't that has nothing to do with real-time stuff. But if you want to just be a software developer, like if you want to earn money by writing code, I feel like games are not even the best option. I don't know. I wanted to work in games, but I found it easier to just find regular software development jobs. But I do like to code a lot. You can definitely find some job. That's for sure. And there's nothing to be scared about. I mean, I don't know about your situation. Like, if you only have like a couple of months and after that you run out of money and you die from like starvation, maybe that's like a bit of a reason to be scared. But even in that conditions, like, it really depends on how much you're ready to put into it. And what kind of jobs are you ready to accept? What kind of pay are you ready to go for? But I don't think that it can be that you can't find anything. Like, there are a bunch of remote job options. It just will depend on how ready will you get yourself for them. How much will you learn beforehand and stuff. I want to make environments in games. I mean, dude, like, if you're looking for your first job, you really have to be more flexible about what you're ready to do. Because probably initially it will not be just as you want it. But you have to get some experience. And you might find that like you're interested in more than stuff that you have already been interested in. My first job like really sucked. I fucking hated it. But I spent 2 years there and it was a great experience and it was way easier to find something else. So basically, what you gotta remember is that each job you take makes you more applicable to the next job just because people will know that you already have experience. Because when you don't have experience, it's a huge risk for the employer to take you on. And like even for you, like you have to be ready, and just the fact that you're scared is just because of the lack of experience. And so if you want to earn money writing code, you just have to at least have a first experience of doing so. Just keep in mind that like if you take your first job and you know that it's not something you would do, just keep in mind that you'll quit. You'll work there for maybe a year or two, then you'll quit and you'll find something more that fits you more. Like my first job, I fucking hated, but my second job I loved. Like I really thought that it was like the best place for me. For like at least first year and a half, I really couldn't imagine a better place for me to work in. And I couldn't imagine I would get in there. Like I didn't even apply. Like I got called from my like CV. I was called for an interview, and I was just sure that I wouldn't pass, just because this place was so cool. But if I didn't have experience on my first job, like I would never get there. Like no chance, literally zero chance. Yeah, that's good. Like you just do something, but it doesn't have to be the same thing that you work on now. It might not be what you will get a job doing, you know, and that's okay. Just let the universe lead you to where you need to be at a specific moment. But you'll switch a bunch of jobs for sure. That's how it is. Nah, that's a tough question. I got paid very little on my first job, but it was back when I was at university and they were hiring students. So that's like, they really could pay super little. But it really depends on your skills, the place you'll find. The range like can be like, I don't know, it can be like 5 times less or more. Also depends on place where you live, whether you find a remote job or something like, what's the opposite of remote? But yeah, like just having experience of a first job is more important than like earning a lot of money. So if you can live off that, that's already pretty good. And if you can stick to it for like half a year or a year or even 2 years, like whatever you get paid initially, you'll probably get paid more and more as you go. So like don't get discouraged if the money is too little initially. That's fine. Just don't think about it too much. You'll be fine. If you're already interested in software development in general, just do something and you'll be good. All you need is to be sincerely interested in what you do. Everything else just gets taken care of automatically. Even though it might be hard to imagine, that's just how the world works. Believe me. Okay, I think I actually need to go back to the way it was. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, just don't make decisions out of being scared. Just trust that you'll be fine and do whatever makes more sense in the moment. Like, dude, you'll be good, like, one way or the other. It might be hard at some points. You might be super uncertain. But when people are scared, they're less inclined to take risks. And you just have to do that, you know, a leap of faith a lot of the times. Oh. Courage, I want to go. Program as an indie game dev. Dude, I have no idea what they teach there. But that sounds pretty interesting. I mean, look, just like what I'm talking about is when it makes sense. Like you see, you say that you want to go there just to be closer to your mom, which is already a pretty good reason. Like living close to your family is like super great. And if they already have like indie game dev courses, like I've never heard of it, about a thing like that. And so like just try it. Like if it already makes sense for another reason, which like living close to your mom is a pretty good reason, that's all you need to do. Like it just makes sense, so you just try. And you don't try to predict the future. Like that's what you're trying to do, like asking the questions if it is applicable or not. Like what if you don't like do a job? What if you become an indie game developer? Like isn't that fucking awesome if you can do that? What else do you need? Just do it, man. Of course. And if it would be sick, then it will work out one way or the other. And if it will not work out, then like something even better will happen. That's the only way. And it cannot it cannot work out only if you don't try. That's the thing. No problem, dude. I wish you good luck. That's how it goes. Oh, dude, like, don't fucking think that way. It's a Bevy engine, my dude. Like, Citrus, you're really, like, 16? Like, you know what I was doing at 16? I was fucking playing WoW. I didn't care about shit. And I didn't know, like, where I want to go. You know how I choose my university? I just went where my friend went. Rusty's Bay, dude. I love that name. It is the best engine, I know. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, like when I was 16, I just went to a fucking university that like just my friend chose. Because I had fucking no idea what I want to do. I didn't know I will get into software development. I didn't know I will get into making games. But I just went there and I met my friend Kuviman, who was like already making his own engines and stuff, and he kind of taught me how to make games. And then I realized that making games is what I want to do my whole life, and I just slowly kind of was getting there. I had a lot of jobs as a software developer, like I was just making games in my free time, but like you're not on the fucking, there is no rush, like dude. If you feel like you have limited time, then you'll make some weird decision and you'll be constantly like scared for your future. But it's not your obligation to predict your future, because you will never be able to. All you gotta do is just do what interests you in the moment. Everything else just gets taken care of automatically. That's the thing. You really gotta understand that, guys. So like if you have a choice for a college that you feel like will be interesting, just go for it. Like that's a path. You definitely will learn something. And nobody can stop you from making games in your free time. That's what people do, like that's what I did. Like for example, if you've seen like a guy called Nerdsau, he was here yesterday. So he's studying in a university that like really like demands a lot from what I know, but he still has time to like do game jams, and he already made a pretty cool game that's a lot like Osu. And yeah, like nobody can stop you from making games, and whatever path you take there, even if you feel like you're wasting time, you'll just find out that everything you've learned before, even though it wasn't specifically making games, it actually is super useful. It's like what's that movie called? Millionaire from Slums or whatever, where the guy like was on the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and he like had an answer to each question from like some really weird experience in his life. That's how it is. Like only when you arrive to somewhere you realize that everything that happened before actually was necessary for you to get to that point, and everything you learned before is actually useful. Slumdog Millionaire? Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Oh yeah, I have considered. I almost switched, but I don't know, it's just too daunting for me to learn like all the keybinds. But I think it's really cool. I will probably switch to it at some point. It's just I really don't want to have a drop in my productivity right now. And I kind of really used to VS Code, like I'm satisfied. What provides the attribute syntax here? Like it's macros. So this is the kind of a more weird part of my game's code. So this is basically all the fields that are like I parsed them before. Like yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's basically proc macros. I have a kind of a weird architecture in here, just so I can use the same code on the client and on the server. Vim changed the way you program though. Yeah, sure it would change mine too. Yeah, I know, Gavin. I just really want to work on features, and I don't know. I really considered switching like a year ago, but I probably will in the future. What's that macro for? It's for... So basically, I wanted to have a content structure where I define it as just a simple Rust structs, where everything just gets like inherited. So I have this like house, and then it has like a house color field, which is in an option, and then like it has like a vec of abilities. So basically everything just kind of inherits into one another. But then I want to use these same structures on the client and on the server, but they are really processed in a lot of different ways. I have to put different traits on them and stuff. So basically what I ended up doing is I take this, then in my first crate, in this one, I basically just include it as a string. Then I make a macro that like puts this attribute on it, and then I include it into two other crates, so like one for the server and one for the client. So yeah, it's basically then parses this node attribute and then does different things on the server and on the client. Like I have this node trait, which is actually two different traits. So yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, but it allows me to have the same code on the server and the client. This probably could be done a little bit better, but it saved me a lot of lines of code already. Recreates an OP? I guess kinda. Yeah, I mean OOP is good in a way that it organizes the code. Yeah, I mean I use ECS too. Like that's the thing. Like I use Bevy engine, and why I did that is because I wanted to those things. Wait, where is it? Like those are all components. So when I use them on the client, those become components, and each of those things are like attached to different entities. And for example, this is one entity, but then those are its children. So yeah, that's why it allowed me to do some really cool stuff. Oh, okay, I fixed the errors. Okay. I think I'm almost done. So now I can do... clear IDs. Alright, let's see. Alright. Yeah, so it works. And to sell, Yeah, so why I did all this was to yeah, so we can re-implement this function, so it doesn't always try to insert, but if it has an ID, it can try to update. Shit, not exactly actually. Kinda would be cool if I could just like get all the data from the table while removing it and then just inserting it back. But it's probably, I would probably like do a lot of extra operations that are unnecessary. But like, okay, yeah, no, actually we can do it differently. We can get this unit and basically we have all the IDs that we need to remove in it. So yeah, okay, I know how we're gonna do this. I need another function that will give me a hash set of IDs, which then I will just clear. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's try that. Call this. Wait. I think I don't even need to do that. I already have some. Yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, yeah, no, that would also be some extra operations. It's probably better to do this. Hash set U64. And it's basically almost like this. Oh, wait. Do I just create hash sets recursively? I guess. Or... No, let's pass it actually. Yeah, let's do like this. And not return. It will just look better. And then we do that extend self ID iter. Copied. Probably because it will be a reference. Yeah. And then we just do the same thing. But it doesn't have to be mutable. And this should be it. No, that's fine. I prefer Godot. Yeah, that's actually what I hear about Rust a lot. People say that like it's slower and stuff, but what you gotta realize that it's if it is slower, then you probably haven't reached that point where everything just becomes intuitive with Rust. Because I've been making games with other engines for like about 10 years. I used Unity a lot, and I actually feel like that I'm faster now using Rust, just because it really increased my skills and understanding of how my code works. So yeah, I really can't agree that it makes you slower. Because if you think about it, like, why would it? It's only because you have some preconceptions, like your brain haven't really adapted to the way Rust code is written. Yeah. And the more you think, the more you kinda don't have to think. Just, you know, you get new like neural pathways that take care of that automatically. Like, wasn't it slow when you were first learning to code? Didn't you have to think through things a lot? It's kind of the same. Yo, it's Hunter. I'm doing great. Alright, Rusty's Bay. Good night, I'll see you later. I'm almost done actually, if this works. I usually end the stream earlier, but there's so many of you guys that I just can't. I also I want to finish this. Okay. So now we should be able to sell a unit and it should disappear from the table. Alright, so and then we have this unit ID 39, and if we press sell, I mean it doesn't update yet, but probably an error, right? Yeah. Insert error. Oh yeah, I can't do this, of course. We do it like this. Yeah, and we would delete all the children. Yeah, should be fine. Alright, let's see. Boom, boom. Yes. So now if I close it and open it, yeah. Perfect. Okay, maybe not exactly perfect. For some reason, it doesn't get removed. It's only with the middle one for some reason. Like what? The first one and last one works fine. Huh. How can that even be? That's so weird. Okay, let's add some logs. Actually, this is not necessary. What? Wait, it's in a different place now. Wait, let's just start over. So if I do the middle one, it's 1. Yeah. And here. $47, $48, $46. 47 was sold. Oh yeah. It's just because the way it's rendered is the thing. Okay. That makes sense. Should be easy to fix. Yeah, it's because I guess because of the way we gather it. No, it's probably here. So we need to order it by ID, and it should fix it. Yeah. Filter map, and then No, actually sort. I think sort by key. Or can we just wait? If it's a vector of IDs, can I just like sort? If only I had some. Okay, let me just try it like this. That's the problem with like writing macros, is that you don't get fucking suggestions. Oh, you can just do this. Okay. No, I kind of want to do it in the iterator. Oh, sorted. Yeah. It's not sort, it's sorted. So now if we buy, yeah, okay, perfect. So I can buy this one and then this one. Yes, we did it, boys. It's working. Yep. Alright, that will be it for now. I'm gonna take a break for a few hours and then I will be back. As always, I stream every day, so thank you everyone for watching. It was really nice talking to you. And yeah, have a great day or good night, and I'll see you later. Alright, bye bye.